Hi, I'm Dylan Attridge. You have seen me in such fine quality videos such as Who Let the Logs Out? Or How to Find E Naturally. Alright, so today I will be telling you how to do exponential equations. There will be two types of exponential equations in which I will be telling you how to do today. First of which, I will be telling you how to do exponential equations in which the bases are the same. Then I will be telling you how to do exponential equations in which the bases are not the same. First, you will need to know the property of equality. Now, once you have learned the property of equality, you will be able to solve these problems. Our first example will be 2 to the 5 minus x. Alright? Now, 64 is equivalent to 2 to the power of 7, which we can transfer that down into our second step. Now, we have 2 to the 5 minus x is equivalent to 2 to the 7. Now, since we have our bases that are the same, we can technically cross them out. Alright? So then we get 5 minus x equals 7. Now, we go into simple algebra, where we just solve for x. We would subtract the 5 to both sides, and we get negative x equals 2. Now, we have this negative right here, which we need to get rid of. So, we could divide both sides by negative 1, which will cross-cancel the negative. We'd have to do this to both sides. So, then, we would be able to solve for x by doing 2 divided by negative 1, and remember, a positive divided by a negative equals a negative, so it would be negative 2. So x would equal negative 2, and that would be our answer. Now I will be showing you the second example. This example may look a little tricky because it has the 1/4 here at the beginning. Now, how in the world can 1/4 equal 64? Well, first, our example will be 1 over 4 to the 3x. Alright? Now, 4 to the third is equivalent to 64. Alright? So, we will write that down here. So we get 1/4 to the 3x equals 4 to the third. However, 1 over 4 to the 3x does not equal 4 to the 3. Now, what we have to do is we have to make the bases the same. So, how in the world would we do that? Well, if you have your exponent, which would be the 3 here, if you change that to a negative exponent causes it to flip. So it would be 1 over 4 to the negative 3, and that would be equivalent to 64. Now, we do 1/4 to the 3x is equivalent to 1 over 4 to the negative 3. Now that we have the bases are the same, we can now cross them out, which would help us solve for x. So then we get 3x equals negative 3. Now, again, we'd have to use basic algebra to solve for x. So you divide 3 over to both sides, and again, a negative divided by a positive would equal a negative. So you get x equals negative 1, and that would be our answer. Now, next I will be telling you about exponential equations in which the bases cannot be the same. Now, you want to make sure that each side has a base in order to log both sides. Now we will head to our third example, example 3, which will be 4 to the 2x equals 35. Now, we can't do the same thing that we did in our previous problems because the bases cannot be the same in any possibility. So, what we will first have to do is we will have to take the 2x and we'll have to move it in front. And which will make this a log. So we will get 2x log of 4 equals 35. Now we could do the same to the other side and make it log 35. So we have 2x log 4 equals log of 35. Now we have to get x by itself. So in order to do this, we must divide both sides by 2 log to the 4. So we divide this side by 2 log to the 4. So once we have done this, we will need to use a calculator. Any calculator will work, but you have to make sure that you plug it into the calculator very carefully. Now, you have x equals, now this is how you're going to plug it into the calculator also. You'll click the log button, and then it'll show a parenthesis, you do 35. Now you want to close that parenthesis, so that way it doesn't divide 35 into the next part we will be typing. Now you do the division sign. Now you want to do a parenthesis in the front to make sure it just doesn't divide log 35 by 2. So you get 2 log of 4. Again, it'll automatically put a parenthesis there. Now you want to close off that parenthesis and add another one, just so that way it encloses the 2 log 4. Now, once you have that plugged into your calculator, you will click the equal sign and you will get your answer, which is 1.282320754. Now, we're just going to only round it to 2 decimal places, which would just give you 1.28, which is your answer. Thus, you have solved for x, which using exponential equations by logging them. Now we'll be moving on to example 4. Example 4, we will be using natural log, which is different from log. See that there is the e right here next to the 4. When you see that, that stands for natural log, which means you will be using the natural log. So, our equation is 4e to the x minus 5 equals 15. So, first what we have to do is try to get e to the x by itself. So you will add 5 to both sides. And you get 4e to the x equals 20. Now, we still need to get e to the x by itself. So we will divide 4 to both sides. And you get e to the x equals 5. Now we can natural log both sides. Alright? So, natural log of e to the x is equivalent to 1. So, we will get x equals the natural log of 5, which you will get 1.609437912. But we are going to round it to 2 decimal places. So, you get 1.609, which we could take the 9, and because it is 9, we could round it up. So we get 1.61 as our final answer. Now, you may ask, how can you possibly use this in the real world? Well, I'll tell you 2 possible ways you could use this in the real world. One, kids use every day. This is called Angry Birds. Have you ever heard of that game? Well, natural logs and logarithms and the exponential equations are used for the trajectory of the bird when you release it from the slingshot. Another example is used at amusement parks all around the world. It is the design of roller coasters. Natural logs and logarithms and exponential equations can be used to help build and design the roller coasters, like using exponential growth and decay for the drops and going up the roller coaster. Thank you for watching this video of how to do exponential equations. I hope this helped you out a lot. Now, remember, love each other and stay awesome.